Cambodia is classified as one of the least developed countries in Southeast Asia by the United Nations. The country's estimated 30,000 working ponies are integral to the rural economy, with horsepower being heavily depended upon for agriculture and transportation. In addition to working long hours, ponies are relied upon for collecting and transporting drinking water for their owners, particularly during the dry season when water supplies are limited. As a supplementary source of income, owners provide delivery services within their communities to those less fortunate than themselves. In towns, pony owners queue outside builders' merchants to deliver construction materials for local customers. With loads of up to 800 kilograms, great demands are placed upon these animals as they pull already heavy carts laden with cement, wood and bricks. With thousands of Cambodians preferring horsepower of the two-wheeled variety, it's commonplace for working ponies, motorbikes and heavy goods vehicles to share dirt tracks and roads. Horses and ponies are becoming ever more popular for leisure purposes in Cambodia. Horses even feature prominently at Angkor Wat, the country's most popular tourist destination. Two main establishments cater for keen equestrian enthusiasts and tourists within the country. The Happy Ranch in Siem Reap accommodates 46 horses and ponies and provides lessons and trail rides. In the capital city of Phnom Penh is the Cambodian Country Club, home to 34 equines. It provides a variety of activities, from learning about basic horse care, riding lessons, show jumping and other disciplines, including horseball and gymkhana games. Taught by a qualified UK instructor and a Cambodian FEI Level 1 coach, children and adults of all ages participate in a range of activities with the ambition of the most competent riders being able to compete at an international equestrian event, including the Southeast Asian Games. It's this combination of a large working horse population and a desire to increase horse sport in the region which prompted World Horse Welfare, FEI Solidarity and the Cambodia Pony Welfare Organisation to forge a partnership to help the horses of Cambodia. Both the rural and the leisure horses of Cambodia face similar problems. During two visits that took place at the beginning of 2012, the World Horse Welfare Team identified potential challenges common amongst working and leisure horse communities. Technical advisor Tom Birch was brought in to look at foot problems in the working horse population.
The way they shoe their horses at the moment is they are put into what they call a box, which we would refer to as a set of stocks. The pony goes in, his leg is tied to the side of the stock or box, so it's automatically at an awkward angle. The farrier shoes the pony by squatting down on the ground. So everything is done from that position. So he's constantly working upwards and against everything that you can think of to see whether a pony's feet are level. Here we have a typical shoeing done where the pony has been put into a set of stocks and his feet have been trimmed. Because of the angle that the farrier is at, which is a squatting position, he's down on the ground and he's trimming upwards. So therefore the inside of the foot has been left high. It's easy enough to tell not only by the trimming, the way the horse is trimmed, but also by the fact that half of the shoe is worn and completely disappeared.
The effect on the balance of the foot is clear to see when you look at the front of the leg.
By putting the rasp down the centre of the front of the limb, and although the pony has a slight limb deviation from the fetlock, the middle of the foot is way off. There's too much hoof wall on the inside, and again, it's just where the ponies are shod in the stocks, or they call them the box. No foot is trimmed from the front while this is happening.
Alongside the problem with shoeing of working horses, there are also tack and harness issues to address, as Master Saddler Mark Fisher explains.
The biggest injuries we've seen really are from the back pads or the vehicle running forwards onto the back end of the ponies. So the back pads, they've been using flip-flops, the sole of a flip-flop, so you've got the metal arch, and then the sole of the flip-flop literally bolted to the underside of the back pad. That doesn't give it enough lift when the ponies haven't got a particularly good top line and the spinal processes are quite prominent. then the back pad tends to sit on the top of the spinal processes and causes quite serious rubs and sores. And then moving back on the ponies, as I've mentioned, we've got the problem with the vehicles running forwards and sitting onto the back end of the pony. So we've seen quite a lot of rubs on the tails, quite severe rubs on the tails and the hocks and points of the buttocks as well.
At the Cambodian Country Club, the type and use of the horse is different, but some of the same problems exist.
They have sport horses which are used for leisure, riding lessons, etc. And they brought in a farrier from Thailand. And he was brought in because they felt the skill level of the farriers in Cambodia was not up to shoeing this type of horses.
From the leisure and sporting perspective, incorrectly fitting saddles were identified, resulting in saddles moving forwards. The tack was unsuitable and, combined with a lack of knowledge, was causing severe problems.
Here at the Cambodian Country Club, where we've been working more with the sport horses, there's been a lot of problems with the saddles. 50% of the saddles have had sort of issues with broken trees and very ill-fitting. So we've had to assess that, see how we can deal with that. Unfortunately, quite a few of the saddles have got to be replaced. It's been quite good while we've been here because there's been quite a few competitions and things like that. So we've been able to see how the saddles are fitting when they're being ridden, and also the fit of the saddles as far as the condition of the horses is concerned, and the ponies.
In 2012, World Horse Welfare were awarded a grant by FEI Solidarity, the FEI's development initiative. The aim is to make an impact upon both sports and leisure horses and also the working pony population of Cambodia.
Having received the funding from the FEI, we developed a working partnership with the Cambodia Pony Welfare Organisation, who have been established in Cambodia for about 5 years. The partnership between Cambodia Pony Welfare Organisation and World Horse Welfare is a very complementary one. The Cambodia Pony Welfare Organisation staff have built very good relationships and trust with the horse owners in the communities, which is really important when we're trying to introduce new ideas.
We go to do treatment through emergency call, through our mobile clinic. So we have a car that go into the villages, the communities, to treat the ponies when they have wounds, when they have disease or colics, so emergency problem. We do regular follow-up. We go every 2-3 months to the villages, and we do, for example, deworming. We also do human behavior change. That means we talk with the community's facilitator, and we try to do exercise to understand what are the source of the problem, and then make themselves understand and prevent in the future the problem.
To run alongside the Cambodia Pony Welfare Organisation's programme, World Horse Welfare developed a bespoke farriery and saddle retraining programme relevant to the horse's needs, which would achieve the greatest impact. Tom has been training the 7 farriery students.
They come from villages outside Phnom Penh. There is one resident farrier at the Cambodian Country Club, and we've tried to train all of them to a skill level where they can go back to their villages, shoe the ponies, and also explain to the owners how they need to work on their ponies' feet to get them so that the farrier can actually shoe the pony. So what we want to do is get our guys that have done the course, go back to the villages, talk to the owners, and start getting the owners to pick their horses' feet up. It'll make life easier for everybody.
After classroom lectures teaching the students anatomy and theory, they're taken on field trips into the local communities, where owners are encouraged to bring their horses in, enabling the students to practice their new skills under Tom's watchful eye.
Overall, the students have done extremely well. They all still have a long way to go, but they are working extremely well.
The evidence of this is clear when Tom assesses a student's work on a pony which came into the field trip with just half a shoe on one of its front feet.
This pony has now had the foot trimmed. We've got it as level as we possibly can, although there is still some slight deformity there, slightly higher on the inside. It's a lot better balanced than it was before, and the shoe has been fitted so it's wider down this outside branch. We've only got 4 nails in, the reason being it's enough nails to hold the shoe in place. A country like Cambodia knows how expensive. We try and keep costs down to a minimum. Right, pick the foot up, take it forward, and as you can see, by simply laying the rasp down the centre of the foot, it still is far from correct, but it's a lot better than it was before. So over a period of time, we should be able to correct this.
By training this enthusiastic group of Cambodian farriers in the basic skills required to trim and shoe competently, they'll be able to have a direct impact to the welfare of horses in their communities. To help combat the problems of tack and saddle injuries, Mark Fisher has been teaching key saddlery skills to a small group of keen students, which will benefit both working and sports horses.
On the first module they worked on basic saddlery, learning to stitch, learning to prepare the leather, cut the leather. They made bridles, and on the second module they worked on harness. They learned how to assess the problems with harness and manufacture the types of harness that they're using here. And on this module we've been concentrating mainly on saddles and saddle fitting, stripping the saddles down, assessing the fit of the saddles and the condition of the saddles and repairing the saddles. They've been a really good group, really keen, very keen to learn.
The saddlery students join in the community field trips to further their education and make tangible differences to the comfort of the working ponies. Whilst full harness is ideal, the team often have to improvise in the short time available to stop injuries.
Because the pad was applying too much pressure and digging into the pony's back, we've simply just added some felt pads here just to disperse the weight so that the pad doesn't dig in quite so much. Yeah. Obviously on this pony we've got clearance on the wither, but some of the ponies that we saw earlier in the city, the back band was actually sitting on the spine, wasn't it, and rubbing the spine, especially where we've got this here with the bolt on the underside with the nut through there was just digging into the pony's spine. So just a quick simple method. Okay, when you're on a field trip like this, we've only got a certain amount of time to see maybe 10 or 12 horses or ponies and carts. So take those off and put new ones on, and maybe 10-15 minutes to do the job. Yep. Okay.
Mark is also keen to teach the students a simple way of stopping the rubbing, which is caused by carts pressing up against the ponies.
Because we know the vehicle is too close to the pony at the back, which means that we'll have to come back at some point and sort out the shafts and the harness with the britching, but for the time being, until we can do that, then obviously we put a pad on here to make sure that it doesn't rub, the front of the vehicle doesn't rub on the pony's tail so badly. That should protect it.
Whilst the joint project between World Horse Welfare, FEI Solidarity and the Cambodia Pony Welfare Organisation is in its infancy, it's clear that it will have a positive impact upon many of the horses in Cambodia and in turn help the horse owners and develop the country's equestrian sport.
What we feel Cambodia really needs is to have people in each of the communities that we're working with that have got both the knowledge and the skills to help improve the welfare of the animals within their villages. We feel really honoured to be part of this programme, as we can see the long-term benefits to not only the working horse community, but the people that we've trained as well.